All right, this is the third time trying this segment. Okay, hopefully we don't get redirected again. All right, so yeah, the Spurs game. I want to talk about it with you guys, chat in particular. I hate Dillon Brooks, and I think we all are in unison in saying he sucks. I mean, he really, really does suck. And it's not like the Patrick Beverley type where it's like, oh, you're just, fighting for the ball or whatever. He comes across like I feel like Dillon Brooks will hurt you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's like dirty. Like he has like some jealousy issues or something. It's strange, man. It's strange. Like, even you can take Sohan, for instance, right? Sohan and Dillon Brooks they play completely different, but as far as mentality, they have the same type of role, right? The enforcer, the tough guy, right? They have the same type of role. It's their personality or whatnot. But I don't think Sohan would actively try to hurt you. He'll do little things to try to get under your skin, right? Like I saw, for instance, who was it that had the ball? Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith was holding the ball after a rebound. It was a dead ball, and Sohan just swiped the ball out of his hands. Like, I could see him doing that. Brooks was just weird with this. It was strange. It was strange. It's like he was trying to pick a fight with Wemby. Like, he wanted to hurt him. It was weird, man. It was weird. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, like super, because that's the thing. I'm not super sensitive to stuff like this. Like, I like physicality in basketball. I like when we're fighting over a ball or whatnot. This was just unnecessary. It was just strange. He pesky for sure. I mean, it's like something else with him. I guess it's another thing because he doesn't give anybody any type of respect at all. Like, at all. Okay, like I talked about Patrick Beverley, right? Patrick Beverley is a pest, right? He's supposed to mess with you. He's supposed to irritate you. But it's also this underlying respect that he has for NBA players in general, right? There's a respect that he has, and he'll talk about it after games. He's friends with guys in the league. Dillon Brooks, I don't know how many people actually like him, even IRL, man, because even when he's talking off the court, just like when he was talking about Wemby and they asked him about Wemby, he was like, oh, he's just tall. That's it. Like, it's like this hater mentality with him. It's weird. It's really weird. Let me see if I can find the actual clip of that without getting copyrighted. Hold on. If I type in, funny enough, if I type in Dillon Brooks, it's probably just going to be a bunch of posts from me because I was tweeting about him the entire game. Okay, so this is ESPN. Let me see. We might not get in trouble for this. All right, let's slow it down. Like this. Like, this is strange, man. So it's like, you had the ball, and they're blowing the whistle this entire time. It's like, okay, that's a wrap. The ball is dead, and he just stays there. He just stays there and stays there and stays there. And it's like he's still trying to get at him. Look, he's pushing off. He's pushing off Chris Paul. It's like, what are you doing? And he's the only one fighting. Everyone else is like, dude, you're a cornball. Go away. And he's still like trying to do something. It's weird. It's weird, man. Chris Paul swung on Dillon Brooks. Oh, wait, did he? Oh, yeah, he did. He popped him in the head. Good. Should have popped him in the face. What was that? What was that? I don't know. It's not many players in the NBA that genuinely gets me, like, upset. But Dillon Brooks gets me upset, okay? I know I just spent, like, 4 minutes talking about this, but it really did bother me, dude. Because, like, it just seemed reckless, and it's like, you're going to get somebody hurt doing that. Fighting for the ball is one thing, but, like, good God, this went on forever, man. Can you chill? What's your problem at this point? Pop wanted smoke, too? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me look for Pop. Give me a sec. Yeah, if I do this too much, I'll get in some trouble. Some copyright. You know how it be.
Doesn't.
Oh, hold on. He said Pop wanted smoke. I don't see Pop. It must have been after this play. Oh, I see. Hold on. Where Pop at? Pop ain't doing nothing. Pop's just sitting there. Yeah, Pop's just... What if, like, Pop shoulder checked him right there? Like, he walked by and, oh, you guys can't see it. Pop just, like, shoulder checks him. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid. Anyways, all right, let's talk about the game. All right, enough of that. That was very frustrating, okay? We already talked about the terrible Wookiees. All right, don't tell me this looks good because it doesn't. Let's go ahead and look at the box score. Let's look at the box score. So I'll address all of the issues that I saw because I pay attention to everything, right? I'll mention all the issues that I saw from Spurs fans and talk about that. But let me just give you my overall thoughts of everyone in this game. So the team as a whole, I thought that we played pretty cohesive. I thought we played well together in the first half. Okay. And that's a continuous theme from the Spurs. In the first half, they played well. Now, what's funny, and this isn't funny, this is actually sad. What's sad is the Spurs have had an issue with third quarters. And I've said this time and time again, like, you guys, come on, we got to hone in. You got to bring in the same amount of aggression you did in the first quarter. You got to bring that into the third. And in this game, I thought they did very well. I knew that the Rockets were going to come out scoring. I knew they were going to come out swinging. They're well coached. Okay, they're not a terrible team. All right, they're going to fight. So I was like, hey, you got to just bring them the fight. And the Spurs brought the fight in the third quarter. But this time, it was the fourth quarter. So normally last year, because I saw a lot of fans saying, oh, we're the same as we were last year. No. Last year, it was the entirety of the second half that the Spurs were just bad. It was just bad all the way around. You knew even if we had somewhat of a lead, we were going to lose it. We were going to lose the game. But in this game in particular, it was the fourth. So it seemed like they really honed in on the third and then let loose of the grip in the fourth. As Popovich said, he said that it really came down to one-on-one defense, and we got torched in that regard. You know, I saw a lot of miscommunication defensively as well. So yeah, I mean, so the Rockets had the same fourth quarter that the Spurs had in the first quarter. 37 points is quite a few points. But yeah, showing we still young. Yeah. That's another thing. We're still young, but what happened is what I expected to happen. And that we're going to have a lot of games where teams either come back or it's close ending it, but we're going to finish games that we wouldn't have been able to finish last season. That was the case here. And the primary reason for that, is Chris Paul and Steph Castle. Most importantly, Chris Paul. I thought Chris Paul really slowed things down at the end, really put it together. He had that phenomenal assist to Sohan. So he was the real reason why we were able to finish this game. So as great as Victor was during this game, he was not the reason we finished at all. It was Chris Paul. It was Castle. I know Keldon hit a couple clutch free throws at the end, but I thought most importantly, Chris Paul really is the reason we closed out this game. And that's what I'm expecting going forward, is that lots of games we would have lost, we're going to win because of the presence of Chris Paul. Let's just be real, right? Sohan has become more confident along with Castle. Yeah, Sohan has always been confident, but last season, a big chunk at the beginning of the season was him taking on a different role. So yeah, he didn't look as comfortable. I say he was still confident, but not comfortable. But yeah, so let's see. Should we just go from player to player and I'll just tell you overall how I feel about each one, or maybe what we should do is just the things that stood out. I won't harp on guys that I didn't have many like high or low expectations for. So I'll just skip over. So Julian Champagnie did his thing. Boom. That's all I really have to say. Nothing else there. No other context. Nothing. No more information there that I need to display. Sohan did his thing. The thing that's crazy to me is like all of the haters that hated Sohan, they're coming into this season and they're like, wow, Sohan looks really good. He looks really impressive. And it's like, dude, he's always been him. And to show you how good he actually is and how good of a defender he is, he was in the game more than everybody, like far more than everybody. He was in the game the entire time. His conditioning is incredible. I never understood the Sohan hate. Me neither. Me neither. It came down to Wemby struggling. The team isn't giving him enough lobs. And then because Sohan is the type that, he speaks his mind on social media, changes his hair color, people made the assumption they did a crazy leap in logic that he was jealous of him or he wants all the attention because he got so much praise his rookie season. Just silly, just dumb. And it takes everything away from who Sohan is. It takes everything away from how he's always been. He's always been a team player. He's been that since college. People don't pay attention to anything because they don't really care. But Sohan came off the bench in college. He doesn't have this huge, crazy ego. That's not who he is. He's never been like that. So yeah. And you think I would advocate for us drafting him? He was my number one player I wanted. I would not advocate for drafting Sohan if it meant, getting someone that was selfish or who I thought was selfish. He's not. He's not that type of player. And the Spurs are not going to pick up somebody that's just blatantly selfish. The only player they did that with was DeJounte Murray. All right, moving on. Harrison Barnes did his thing. No real context there. Nothing surprised me. Vic. Okay, actually, we do need to spend a little bit of time on Victor Wembanyama, guys. So Vic actually looked much more comfortable this game. He definitely had his rhythm. You saw that the Spurs did try to get him in the paint as much as humanly possible. I'm cool with 5. All right, I will accept 5 threes in a game. I'm cool with that. That 8 the other night, I'm not chilling with that. But 2 for 5, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. It was all right. But yeah, I one thing that's really promising though. Okay, so I know people will say he didn't do as well or you expected more. One thing that's promising is we know that he is already rusty, right? He's very rusty. But on top of that, you're going against a Houston Rockets team. And last season, these types of matchups aren't great for Wemby, right? He doesn't really feel comfortable going against those like low to the ground, strong defenders. He just doesn't do well with that. He just didn't. Like we talked about, he gained about 5-ish pounds, not 25. That's wrong. About 5 to 10 pounds, if that. And yeah, he looked a little bit stronger. Still losing his footing at times. Only had 3 turnovers, and with the ball being in his hands quite often, that's not bad. But geez, that 3rd turnover. Oh man, I had to remind myself how young Victor actually is. And I know that I've been a little critical of him, but I've been pretty critical only because, yeah, it's some things that Vic has been saying where I'm like, dude, kind of chill out a little bit with it. A lot of people didn't like my take about the interview in which he said, oh yeah, there's a lot of guys, a lot of stars in the league that don't work as hard as I thought they did. I was shocked because they just don't put in the work. And I'm like, that's it. I'm not that much of a fan of him anymore. I didn't like that. And I know people say it's a cultural thing. It's being French. That's cool, whatever. But still, I didn't like it because those guys are those stars that don't work as hard as you think they work or don't work as hard as you would like or you compare yourself to them. They still are more accomplished than you are, right? So let's not do that. Let's not throw rocks here. Don't throw stones. Let's just work on our game and put our heads down and go to work. That's how I felt about it. I didn't like it that much. I didn't like that type of comment. Thought that was weird. But yeah. Anyways, so maybe I raised my expectations a slightly too high than I should, because usually I'm the one to come in and say, hey, this guy's young, da da da. But at the same time, I just didn't like some of that language. With that being said, I think that this game he did very well. But it ended in a way where I said, oh my God, Vic, how did you? And then I had to come down a little bit and say, he is young. He's very young. It's only in his 2nd year, Playing with the Swiftie lyrics. What did I say? You got to tell me what I said. I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I'm lying. I listen to a little Taylor Swift. They played this week. The Spurs? Oh, Chet versus Wemby? Yes, on Wednesday. Nice. Thursday. Heck yeah, I'm excited. I pick up my my girlfriend to be over Friday. I think Friday. No game. So I don't have to do anything risky. No game. Let's go. Why are we playing Houston again? Because the schedule is stupid. Not only are we playing Houston again, you're playing them in San Antonio again. It's stupid. It should be spread out. I don't know why they did it this way. Look. Actually, dude, it's even worse than you think. I didn't even realize it was this bad. We play them back to back, and then we play them the beginning of November. Why? That's dumb. All right. Well, hopefully we can knock them out all these games. And then after November, we don't play them till February. All right. Anyways, let's see who we got. Chris Paul. Chris Paul makes a crazy amount of difference. Someone in the chat said Chris Paul didn't look good tonight. I have to completely disagree. Completely disagree. I thought that he was phenomenal in this game. 1 for 3. Yeah, that's not great, but I'm not expecting Chris Paul of old or Houston Rockets Chris Paul to just put up crazy scoring numbers. But this is exactly what I need, or what we need from him. It was a lot of great passes in there, man, and the ball is moving, and I think a big part of that is Chris Paul. He had nearly 10 assists, and all of them were impressive. He even had a steal in there, and his verbal communication amongst teammates was great as well. He was getting on to people, making sure he's having those extra conversations with everybody. Even when he was on the bench, he would get up, and I think, was it Castle? He asked someone to come over. I think it was Castle. He asked Castle to come over, and he had to talk with him. Like, he was in everyone's ear. So, love to see that. Zach Collins, guys, can we like? I've said that I'm a little worried about Collins because we're expecting him to be able to hit the 3 ball, right? And we have not been able to see that yet. That's what I'm worried about. But I think the hate goes a little too far. I think the Zach Collins hate just goes a little too far. I'm worried, but as far as what he's asked to do and what he does on the court, he's always been a good passer, right? He's always been a pretty decent, help defender. He plays the right way. He's just solid in what they need him to do. I don't know, man. I just think sometimes when people are like, they really hate Zach Collins, it's like, dude, we're going a little too far, right? I thought Zach hit 1-3 today. I didn't even think he took a 3. Zach Collins has been a net neutral so far, and that is a huge win. Yeah, Collins is fine. The bigger issue, I've remained saying this, the bigger issue is not Zach Collins being at center. It's not having a center to begin with, right? That's the bigger issue. It's not Zach Collins himself. It's not his fault. It's just that we don't have a center. Zach Collins is a natural power forward. He's not a center. So it's going to take time for us to get that, But right now, for him having to play that role, he's been fine. I'm just hoping that he'll be able to hit more 3s. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Because that will be huge for us. We need a true center. That's gonna take a minute. The more I thought about it, initially, I was like, oh yeah, guys, we can just get a cheap center. But then if you look around the league of true centers, they're actually pretty expensive. So I don't know what we should do. I don't know if the Spurs should use one of their future draft picks for a center. Maybe that's something you can do. But centers are pretty expensive to get one of those. So I don't know. If only Zach and Mamu are in one body. Oh, that would be cool. Like they fuse. They fuse like Gogeta. That would be dope. All right. Okay. This guy, Keldon Johnson, is the most controversial player you can ever have a discussion about, right? It's like a, I don't know. You gotta die by the sword with Keldon, you know? KJ, Keldon is that guy. How should I put this? Because it's going to go like this every single game. I'm going to be consistent with how I view Keldon, right? I've been consistent how I view Keldon. But it's like in a game where he hits a big shot here or there, or he makes a big play, it's like anything you say negative is like, what are you talking about? He was great. And then you say the exact same thing the next game, and it's like, oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. I think Keldon Johnson's decision-making is pretty terrible. With that being said, when the Spurs are passing the ball fairly well and the defense is shifting, Keldon is masterful in getting to the rim in those situations when defenses have to shift. The problem with Keldon is sometimes he thinks he's Vince Carter and he will just take it upon himself to try to score on three guys. And it's like, what are you doing? He will kill momentum in that way. So it's like I don't know, man. It's like his strength is also a weakness. That mentality of I can make this happen. I can get to the rim. He has great body control, right, when he's getting to the rim. But geez, man, you know what I mean. At times it's going to be great, and at times it's going to be bad, and you kind of just gotta live with it with Keldon. He's not going to change. It's not like because he lost weight this season that, oh, now he's a great defender, or, you know, now he's better on the offensive end. No, he's basically the same player. He was still getting attacked pretty often defensively, right? Fortunately for us, we have enough defenders where, you know, it didn't show, it wasn't as bad as it was last season. And offensively, he's the same player. But there were a few scores where I was like, yes, that's how you use Keldon. Where the defense is shifting, he gets them off guard, and he goes to the rim. That's cool. That's fine. Staying in that corner is great. It was just certain times where I'm like, Keldon, what are you doing? What are you doing? This decision making is terrible. Slow the ball down. Pass it back out. You know. So that tunnel vision is good and bad at times. But overall, I think tonight was an example of Keldon Johnson working. And there were issues everywhere, so I'm not going to sit here and say Keldon's the reason why the Rockets came. Obviously not. The team as a whole is the reason the Rockets came back. It's just I'm not a big fan of the play style, right? But when he's in the corner, when he's just doing his thing, you know, keeping it simple, I think everything is fine. When he take it upon himself, that's when it's we get a really bad play out of it. I mean, because I remember one play in particular, the second quarter? Might have been the second quarter. Maybe it was the third quarter. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Spurs worked so hard defensively. You had Chris Paul even coming off the bench, like yelling at guys. And we got a really good defensive possession out of it. And then literally on the other side in transition, Keldon just, I don't know, goes for a terrible shot, driving to the paint on like three players. They block it, and then they get an easy transition score. And Pop was pretty livid about that. So, you know, that's the type of stuff you got to live with, I guess. I wish he would stop. Refs were kind of tripping. Refs were tripping. Moving on, Malachi Branham did fairly well. Yeah. You know, he's not a good defender. He'll never be a good defender. Didn't really seem like the Rockets really attacked him that often when he was on the court, so that's good. And once again, the benefit of having other defenders on the team. And yeah, he played aggressive. He fought hard. He did good. Malachi was all right in limited minutes today. Yeah, he was good. He was good. Nothing too crazy there. Nothing that caused concern. Blake Wesley barely played, so I don't have much there. But hey, 6 minutes, got 2 assists, so at minimum 4 points there, and then he gave you another 2, so 6 points. So you know, maybe 6 points in 6 minutes. That ain't bad. Don't really know why he didn't play more. I love Wesley and Castle on the court together. So don't really know about that. Castle getting 27 minutes is huge. I was hoping, I tweeted out. Hold on, let me see. I think I wanted 25. Let's see. Let's see here. I don't remember. Was it yesterday? Yeah. It was when it was announced that Trey Jones was out. So, I was like 25 plus Castle minutes. That's what he got. 27 minutes. Not only 27 minutes, but 27 minutes in a crucial situation. Not only 27 minutes, and he was in the game during a crucial situation, but he went 3 for 4 from the field to close out the game. You love to see it. Clutchness from Steph Castle. And he is one of those guys, man. It's so weird because we already have another one of those, right? He's one of those guys where you will watch the game. If you pay attention, watch the game, you're like, whoa, he put on a show. He was phenomenal tonight. He was great. And then you look at the stats and it's like, oh, I thought it was more than that. Right? Like I could have sworn it was more than 3 assists. I thought it was 3 steals, but he got 2 steals and a block. That's great, but I thought it would be more. And it's the same thing with Sohan too. A lot of times Sohan will have like really great games. Like even in this one, I could have sworn he broke 20 in points, but nope, 17. But it was a double-double, but 17. Oh, another thing I didn't mention too, Keldon Johnson rebounding monster tonight. All right, a lot of effort on that end. So I forgot to give him praise for that. He killed it in that regard. And also 3-point shooting. This is another positive. So Spurs, they took 20, 40%. 40% from 3. I would like for a field goal percentage to be higher than 49, but it's right at 50. 40% from 3, not bad. And free throws, 82%. And it took some clutchness from him and Keldon in particular. Wemby was great too. He was 7 for 8 from the free throw line. Oh, man. Good stuff. We were much better on the boards as a team. Overall, the Spurs showed effort. They played hard. And yes, there was no reason to lose this game. I think a lot of fans, at least from what I've seen, was upset because they came back. But honestly, I was expecting the Rockets to come back. I thought they would come back. The main question was, how would the Spurs respond to it? Which for a second they didn't respond too well. But the fact that we made so many mistakes in this game and still managed to finish it is huge. 17 turnovers from us, 10 from them. But yeah, and they have to finish out. They got to figure out the defensive end. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, we held the lead, which is huge. That's all you got to worry about, right? You can't worry about what happened. Like, oh man, they came back and all this. Is like, we're in the situation right now. You're up by 4 or whatever. There's only a couple minutes left or a minute left or whatnot. You have to go out there and fight. Because let me see, how long was it close? Because this might put things in perspective on how strong the Spurs actually ended this game. Let's see. We'll get it once it's within 10. All right. So, yeah. So the Spurs had to hold the lead for 9 minutes straight. The Rockets got within 9, and the Spurs had to hold on to it, and they did it. That's tough. For 9 minutes straight is tough, especially with the amount of momentum the Rockets had once they knocked it down to 9. They had all the momentum in the world. And you had to hang in there. I see some standouts after that so we can see who was clutch in those moments. 9 minutes left. You had Julian Champagnie make a layup. Let's just look at everyone who scored. Victor. So you had Julian, Vic, Castle, Vic, Sohan, Castle, Castle, Keldon, Castle. So it was the people that you actually expected to finish the game. Finish the game strong. All those names, you expect that out of them. Good job. Next game should be very fun. It should be very fun. And I don't know if the Spurs have as big of a lead as they got in this one. I don't expect the Rockets to score 10 points in the second quarter. I don't think that'll happen. But hey, we can make it. Let's make it a little mini playoff series, okay? Mini playoff series for us, since we got to play them back to back. Good stuff. Good stuff.